An 8-car inferno on California highway exposes cracks in America's truck licensing. Trump's flying to Asia for a high-stakes handshake with Xi. India's splurging on defense tech. Delhi is betting on artificial rain. And India-Canada ties slowly defrosting. All that's coming up. Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint. I'm your host, Nelson John. This is your smart daily briefing on what matters. From big moves in business to headlines shaping India and the world, we cut through the noise so you start your day informed and ahead. It's Friday, October 24th. Let's get started. The following dashcam footage shows the horrifying moment a semi-truck plowed in to stop traffic on California's Interstate 10 this Tuesday, never touching the brakes. The collision triggered an 8-vehicle pileup that killed 3 people and exposed serious gaps in America's commercial licensing system. Here's what we know. 21-year-old Jashanpreet Singh was high on drugs when his truck slammed into an SUV, causing a massive fire that engulfed multiple vehicles. Among the dead were Clarence, a former basketball coach at the Pomona High School, and his wife Lisa. 4 others were hospitalized with serious injuries. But the crash reveals a deeper problem. Singh entered the U.S. illegally through Mexico in 2022. Border Patrol caught him in California's El Centro sector, but the Biden administration released him under their Alternatives to Detention policy while he awaited court hearings. Somehow, this illegal immigrant managed to obtain a commercial driver's license in California. California is the only state in the U.S. that refuses to ensure big rig drivers can read our road signs and communicate with law enforcement, said Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. The Trump administration just slashed $40 million in federal highway funding to California over English proficiency standards for truckers. Well, this isn't an isolated incident. Another illegal immigrant, Harjinder Singh, caused a similar fatal crash in Florida after failing both English and road sign tests before getting his California CDL. The pattern is disturbing, federal officials noted. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt called the situation unacceptable, confirming that ICE had filed an immigration detainer against Singh. The Department of Transportation launched an immediate review of how these licenses get approved. Singh now faces gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated and DUI charges. He's being held without bail and was scheduled for court hearing on Thursday. Immigration officials confirm he had no lawful status to remain in the U.S. The crash has intensified scrutiny over state licensing procedures and immigration enforcement. As Leavitt put it, these tragedies follow a disturbing pattern of criminal illegal aliens being issued commercial vehicle licenses. U.S. President Donald Trump is flying to Asia for his first face-to-face meeting with Xi Jinping since returning to office. And the timing couldn't be more critical. The White House confirmed Trump departs Friday night for a 4-country tour hitting Malaysia, Japan, South Korea, and that crucial China meeting next Thursday. This comes right after trade tensions exploded in October when Beijing dramatically expanded restrictions on rare earth mineral exports. Trump had threatened retaliatory tariffs, but now he's striking a more optimistic tone.
In South Korea, I'll be meeting with President Xi of China. We'll have a pretty long meeting scheduled. We can work out a lot of our questions and our doubts and our tremendous assets together. So we look forward to that. I think something will work out. We have a very good relationship, but that'll be a big one.
But here's what Trump plans to lead with: fentanyl. The first question I'm going to be asking him about is fentanyl, Trump said, putting it right at the front of the list. Washington blames China for failing to stop precursor chemicals flowing into the U.S., while Beijing calls this blackmail. The meeting happens on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea. Trump's top trade negotiators are already en route to keeping this historic second-term summit on track. What happens next week could determine whether we are heading towards a trade deal or deeper economic warfare. India just greenlit defense purchases worth 79,000 crore rupees. Now, that's a massive shopping list covering missiles, spy systems, and amphibious warships. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh's team approved the package on Thursday. This is the second big defense buy since Operation Sindoor, when India struck terror camps in Pakistan and POK after the Pahalgam attack in May. Back in August, they cleared 67,000 crore rupees worth of equipment. Here's what's coming. The Navy gets landing platform docks, basically large ships that can haul troops and heavy gear for beach landings. They're also getting lightweight torpedoes built by DRDO that can hunt down submarines, plus new guns and tracking systems. The Army scores Nag missile systems that can take out enemy tanks and bunkers. They're also getting mobile electronic intelligence units to spy on enemy communications and high-mobility vehicles for mountain logistics. The Air Force, well, they get collaborative long-range systems that can take off, fly, and find targets and strike autonomously. What this really means is India's betting big on homegrown defense tech while ramping up combat readiness across all three services. Delhi's trying something radical to fight pollution, making it rain. Chief Minister Rekha Gupta announced on Thursday that the city is ready for its first artificial rain through cloud seeding. A trial run happened in Burari, and here's how it works. A Cessna aircraft from IIT Kanpur flew over Delhi firing cloud seeding flares between Khekra and Burari. The flares contain chemicals that encourage clouds to release moisture. If weather cooperates, Delhi could see its first artificial rain on October 29th. The weather department's predicting cloudy conditions through October 30th. Environment Minister Manjinder Singh Sirsa called it a historic technological milestone. The project's a collaboration between IIT Kanpur and the Delhi government, approved by 23 departments, including aviation authorities. The goal here is to combat Delhi's notorious winter air pollution using science instead of just hoping for natural rain. 5 trials are authorized between October and November. Now, whether it actually works remains to be seen. India and Canada are finally talking again. After months of frozen relations, diplomats are heading back to their posts. Here's what happened. In October 2024, 41 Canadian diplomats packed their bags and left India. New Delhi had threatened to strip their immunity, demanding equal representation. The math was stark. Canada had 62 diplomats in India, while India had just 21 in Canada. Now, a senior Indian government official says Canada can gradually send back a similar number of diplomats. The catch? India wants reciprocity, not necessarily parity. What this means is that they'll match numbers, but on India's terms. New Delhi isn't keen on a flood of Canadian immigration officials. The shift came during Canadian Foreign Minister Anita Anand's visit to India this month. She told Canadian media that they're discussing staffing up missions to serve their respective populations. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar agreed. Breaking down why this matters, relations crashed in 2023 when then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau accused Indian government agents of killing Khalistani leader Hardeep Singh Nijjar. India called it absurd. Trade talks stopped. Diplomats expelled on both sides. But the new Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, changed that equation. His June meeting with PM Modi at the G7 summit marked the breakthrough. Carney is now invited to India's AI Impact Summit in February. What this really means is that both countries are testing the waters, carefully rebuilding what was broken. Cautious, gradual, and moving forward. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great weekend.